Hey everyone, long time no see. My name's Roselle and today we're going to be talking about my first time going to a music festival. Quick disclaimer, this is not scripted like most of my videos are because I need to or else my brain doesn't work. So please bear with me. I do have all my pictures I took from the trip right in front of me on my computer, and I have like notes that I took from each day. What I'm trying to say is I'll try to stay on track, but it might be a little here and there. As you can read on the title, the rock festival or the music festival that I went to was Louder Than Life in Louisville, Kentucky. And today I'm repping the merch I got. It's pretty cool. Has all the bands, but I'll put up a picture of the set list or the fucking... It was freaking stacked, in my opinion. The biggest reason that I went to this specific music festival or rock festival was because it had Avenged Sevenfold and Green Day on there, and I almost went to the Aftershock, I believe it's called, festival in California because it's a lot closer than Kentucky, but that one didn't have Green Day. And Green Day, I'll get into it later on in the video, but they are like a bucket list or were a bucket list watch for me, and so the fact that Avenged Sevenfold and Green Day were both going to be there was like, I was going to make it happen. And I'm very thankful that I was blessed enough to be able to make it happen. I'm not going to go into depth about how much I spent. All you need to know is that I had to open up a new credit card to afford this. And thank God for 0% APR for 15 months. Because otherwise I would not have been able to afford this. I'm not rich. Don't want to call myself poor, but I am in debt. And it was worth it. I don't want to give anyone any bad ideas out there, okay? I am very good at budgeting. I know what money I have to spend, and I knew I didn't have the money to spend it unless I borrowed some. And I did the math, and I did the inner work to realize that that was worth it for me, but I don't think you should just go out and open credit cards so you can afford concerts and music festivals, okay? That's on me. Anyways, you may remember or may not, but in my last video I mentioned that I had gone to a concert, specifically an Avenged Sevenfold concert in California. I wanted to see them more than once because I would say they're my favorite band right now, or have been my favorite band for a while, but I never got to see them live when they were, like, I don't know, in their prime or just before their like 6-year hiatus or however long that was. And so when I saw that they were going on tour, or they were going to be having concerts again, I kind of went crazy. And anyways, what I'm trying to say is, even though I already saw them once, I wanted to see them again. And just the fact that they were going to be here in Kentucky with Green Day was enough to sell me. You could see how much the tickets were. I got a ticket for me and for Tyler for the 4 days. That's how long the event was 4 days. I could not afford a hotel package or anything, so I just had to get that and then a hotel that I could hopefully get close by because I really wanted to be able to walk to the venue every day so that we didn't have to pay for Ubers. Okay, let's just get into it. September 20th is when my trip started. We flew out of Portland around 7 a.m., got into Kentucky around 5 p.m. We Ubered to the hotel, unpacked, or checked in, unpacked, got our bearings, and then it was time to eat. We were hungry, and so we Googled some nearby restaurants that we could walk to, and we ended up going to a restaurant called Louie's Hot Chicken and Barbecue, and that was so fucking good. I'm really sad I didn't get any pictures of that food because we sat down in our hotel room, blacked out, and we woke up with the food all gone and full tummies. But that was pretty much it. That was the end of day one. Mostly just a travel day and getting prepared for tomorrow or the next day, which would be the first day of the festival. Day two, the first day of the festival, was like a test day for us because, again, I had never been to a music festival, let alone like a rock festival. I don't know if they're different, like pop festivals versus rock festivals or what. Never been to any kind. It was really nice because they have an app, and so you could go download their app, and on the app had like the schedule for who was playing and when on what day. So that was extremely useful. We used that a lot just to kind of see either who was playing or when somebody we wanted to see was playing. Very useful, very nice. I really liked that, and I think that all music festivals should do that if they don't already. But on Thursday, the first day, September 21st, the big names were Weezer and Foo Fighters, so definitely wanted to see them, but they were at the end of the day. We were going to be there way before that to check everything else out. So we got there around 2 o'clock, I want to say. We walked there from our hotel. The hotel we stayed at the Candlewood Suites. Highly recommend. It was a really nice, I think for the price. It was 2.7 miles according to Google Maps to walk from our hotel to the Kentucky Expo Center, which is where the festival was being held. So it was like about an hour walk, which isn't bad. If you really like walking, then yeah, I would recommend staying there and walking every day if you can. You could definitely get your steps in that way. But it was a little hard because of the heat, but it wasn't horrible. It was September, so it wasn't like middle of the summer, but September afternoons can still be pretty warm. It was really nice because it was specifically a no pressure day because we just wanted to see what was up. We brought our phones, our wallets, our tickets to get in, phone chargers, and binoculars. That's all we had brought in. On the last day, we had so much more stuff. I learned so much about just what you need to take to a festival, at least a warm one, a sunny one. Yeah, so we got there, we got some food, checked out some stands, we got a corn dog, and I got a lamb gyro. It was kind of a cloudy day, so it wasn't really that hot. This would turn out to be the only cloudy day of the festival, but it was really nice. I bought some merch. There was quite a bit of seating there, but most of the seating was around the food, and so I didn't want to really sit there if somebody was trying to find a seat to eat and I was just sitting there just to sit. So I saw a lot of people sitting down on the grass with blankets, and I was like, I should buy a blanket. So that's what I did. I got a blanket, and that was my first purchase that would be an essential. But yeah, day 2 was very comfortable, very lax. We were pretty far from the main stages where Weezer and Foo Fighters were playing, but we could see the big jumbo screens, so it was fine. I didn't want to be super close for those because I like those bands, but they weren't on my bucket list per se. I mean, I don't want to say that they weren't on my bucket list because I'm glad that I have gotten to see them. But what I'm trying to say is we could see them on the jumbo screens, and that was good enough for us. I did have my binoculars, which was cool. And so these pictures that you are seeing with the rounded borders are taken from my binoculars. I tried really hard to get some good videos and pictures through the binoculars because we were so far. Like, my phone could not zoom in that far and look like anything. But it was really hard to line up my binoculars with my phone camera. But yeah, show ended, festival was over for the day, and I'm really glad that we walked because we didn't have to worry about traffic at all. We walked all the way back to the hotel. I got like 20,000 steps plus that day, but it was great. There was a convenience store pretty close to our hotel, and we ended up stopping there pretty much every night. So we walked back, stopped there, got some snacks, got back to the hotel, showered, chilled, and that was pretty much the end of day 2, first day of the festival. Day 3, which was the second day of the festival, was interesting just because, so the first day of the festival was like our test day, like our test run, trial run. So we were there pretty much all day, but we had walked so much the first day. So this day we kind of wanted to just recoup and go later. We had ordered some food to get delivered. But yeah, we basically vegged till around 4 or 5, which is when we headed over so that I could catch Limp Bizkit. I wanted to just see them so I could say that I saw them live, but they're not my favorite band out there. Really, honestly, I was only excited for Tool, but as I'll get into in a bit, it was honestly surprising how I ended up feeling towards the end. But order of events, we got there. We actually ended up taking an Uber there this time because it was later in the day, so at this point it was really hot. Also because I had started my period this day, which really sucks that I had to have it during this trip, but that is life, I suppose. Anyways, we got a lot closer to the main stages this day, but we were still in a space where we could lay out our blanket and sit down. But yeah, Godsmack played before Tool, and that was honestly a treat. I had heard their music before, you know, obviously if you listen to the radio, or I guess if you listen to rock radio or whatever, you'll have heard them, but they were really good. They had good stage presence, the music was good, and I enjoyed them more than I did Tool, which is who I was more excited to see, just because Tool had some of my favorite songs in Guitar Hero, and that's why I was excited to see them live. But it was cool. I didn't not enjoy anything. I enjoyed everything, but it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Godsmack was way better in my opinion. We actually didn't sit there through the whole concert, and towards the end of Tool's set, we got up, packed our stuff, and decided to walk through the festival. And this was really cool because everybody was watching the show, and so there was a lot of open space at this point, and it was dark and cool, and there was still some food stalls open, so this is when we decided to grab a snack. It was honestly a vibe because all that was playing right now was Tool, so you could hear them playing their music throughout the whole grounds basically. Yeah, it was a good experience. They ended. Everybody was leaving at the same time again, but not a problem for me and Tyler because we were walking. So we did walk back. Even though we Ubered there, we walked back, and that was gonna be basically what we did for the rest of the festival. We would Uber there and walk back. So we walked back every single night of the festival, but we only walked there at the first day. The walk was really not bad. It was kind of nice, especially the walk back because it was dark and it wasn't warm anymore. It was perfect time to like decompress from just the excitement and the crowds and like everything that we experienced that day. We could just kind of like decompress, talk about it, get it out, and then we'd stop by the convenience store, get a little snack, get to our hotel, clean off the filth and sweat and dirt from the day, and then just relax and be excited for the next day. It was really good. Day 3 of the festival was stacked. There was a lot of bands that I knew or wanted to see live. And so I thought I was going to be there all day today, but that's actually not what happened. I wasn't feeling very good because of my period and like the heat and whatnot. So again, we Ubered there, but we actually didn't get to the festival or the venue until around 3 or 4. So I did get to see Kim Dracula, and that was cool because didn't know who they were or ever listened to them before this, but found some new music, which is always cool. We got to see Baby Metal. It was super cool, but it's just not my music, so I didn't really enjoy the musical part of it, but it was cool to see them on stage dancing around. I like their outfits. Around this time, we had got up to walk around, get some food. I got a margarita, but that was a bad mistake. It made me feel a little sick, so we ended up laying down in some shade until around, I didn't get up until Falling in Reverse was playing, and that was at 6:55. Baby Metal played at 4:30, so like for a couple hours, yeah, I was down for the count because I don't know, that margarita did something to me, but not in the good way. I had bought a hand fan, and this hand fan would come in clutch, I tell you. This was definitely a necessity. I don't know why we didn't get one sooner, but definitely needed it today. Once Falling in Reverse was playing, we started making our way there because the plan was there's the 2 stages, and Avenged Sevenfold would be playing on this stage, and Pantera was going to be playing on this stage next to it. And so Falling in Reverse was playing on this stage. And so everybody's like standing in front of the stage that they're playing at right now, right? Because that's who's playing right now. And so we kind of were standing somewhere in the back. But as soon as Pantera came on, I knew a lot of people would move over to try and get better views of Pantera. And so when everyone's moving over for Pantera, that's when me and Tyler took our chance and like really like got up as close as we could to wait for Avenged Sevenfold. Because yeah, the bands would switch which stage they were on. And yeah, we got pretty close. But now we had to stand in this spot for the entire Pantera concert, which this sounds really mean, but it was pretty brutal because Pantera is good. Again, there's not really any music that I don't like, but it's just not like the music that I really want to hear. So I kind of just stood there and zoned out until they were done, pretty much. There's some songs, you know, I got, and it was cool and it was nice, but yeah, I really just dissociated until they were done. And then finally A7X came on and I was able to get some pretty good clips, and moshing was not near as bad as in California. It was really, honestly, wasn't a problem at all here, at least where we were standing. But this was our first experience with crowd surfing, and it was horrendous. It was so bad. There was so many crowd surfers. Like, I don't remember if there was crowd surfing done in California, but I can't imagine if there was. Like, obviously I didn't remember seeing it because in California, or like in a regular concert, I guess, there's like the pit, and then there's the stage, and then everyone else is either in seats or like on the floor seats or whatever. So people who are crowd surfing don't really have a place to go. They kind of just are either in one place or maybe they move up a little bit. But here, they have like a crowd. It's all outdoors. There's a big crowd. You could get from like the back of the crowd to the front from crowd surfing, and people did that. There was so many. So the very first crowd surfer that me and Tyler actually had to deal with, again, we had never experienced this. I hadn't, he hadn't. And so we were kind of unprepared. And so I did get bonked in the head a little bit by their foot, but it really wasn't bad. It wasn't a big deal. And then there was only one other one that we weren't super prepared for. And so she ended up kind of sitting on my head. But she had a cushy tushy, so it didn't hurt. It just was a little uncomfortable on my neck to try and keep her up with my head until I could get my hands up there. But yeah, it was only bad because, I don't know, it was just like, there was just so many of them that they actually had to stop the concert 3 times because crowd surfers were getting dropped or hurt. So the first time it happened, I was kind of like, whoa, like, they had to stop, it must be bad, you know. And then the second time that they had to stop for somebody, I was kind of like, come on guys, don't make them do this again. and then they had to do it again, and it really sucked because it was super cool. There was a proposal during this concert. That was super dope. And so they were playing their last song, A Little Piece of Heaven, one of my favorite songs, and somebody got hurt, and you could tell they really did not want to have to stop a third time, but you know, they're a good band, and they did stop to make sure that those people got the help, which, you know, I'm not saying anything, like, obviously I'm glad they got the help. It's not like I didn't want them to. It was just annoying that it had to happen at all. Regardless, it was a super fun concert, and super cool to learn crowd surfing etiquette, I guess, even though I wish I could have just stood there and enjoyed the show. But like I said, I just wanted to sing and dance, but I had to be like on guard to make sure there wasn't somebody coming, because at that point I have to be responsible for my own safety and somebody else's, because that's how they get hurt, is some people aren't paying attention. They get dropped on their head or their back or something. Like, yeah, so I had a great time. Tyler said he had a great time other than the surfers, which I totally understand. But this was a lot better experience than the California one, I would say, just in terms of like the anxiety that I felt, because I feel like I might have a low level of like crowd claustrophobia. I'm sure there's a name for it. I don't know what it is, but when I was in the pit in California, it was really hard to breathe. Also because, again, I'm only 5'2", and there was so many people like taller than me around me, and like it's super tight and crowded, and it felt like I couldn't breathe, or I was only breathing in like other people's CO, like, I don't know. and the crowd jostled way more in California, but here it's all outdoor. I also had the fan to kind of help me get some air, and I feel like that was indispensable. Like, I'm really glad I had a hand fan to kind of like fan some fresh air into my face. So that really helped with just like my breathing and being calm, and the crowd didn't jostle that much. Again, it was mostly just crowd surfers. And I had Tyler there, which was different. I didn't have him in the first concert, so it was great. I had a great time. It was a lot of fun. We were definitely really dirty, gross, had to shower for sure today. We showered every day again, but definitely today because we were in the crowd. We were like up towards the front. But yeah, walked back, stopped at the convenience store, grabbed snacks, showered, chilled. And that was the end of day 3 of the festival. So last day of the festival, day 4. I said that yesterday was a big day because there was a lot of bands I knew. No. Today was the big day because today was Green Day Day. I said earlier that Avenged Sevenfold is like my favorite band, or is currently my favorite band, but before them was Green Day. In middle school, they were my favorite band, and I was in a deep hole. I feel like most people or most girls who have bands that they love, they kind of fangirl over the members of the band. And that was definitely Green Day for me, even though I was like 12 years old and he was like 40 something at the time. I'll never forget how upset I was the day I found out he was married. He was just so cute to me. I really loved his aesthetic. The black hair and the red tie, like that just did it for me. And with Avenged Sevenfold, they are like, it's like strictly musical business. I didn't even know anything about the actual like band members or whoever like was making the music till like maybe a couple years ago. But I also listened to them in middle school, but it was just, I really liked their music. And there was no, even now that I know like the band members and whatnot, I'm not like attracted to them per se or anything like that. Like, I think the way that I put it and the way that I feel like makes the most sense to me is that the members of Avenged Sevenfold, or the lead singer, M. Shadows, he is like dad. He's like a dad. And I really like the music that he makes, and it makes me really happy, really love the music. I'm not like attracted to that band in the sense of like, I would say how a lot of females or just like people, I don't know how to put it, you know, like the fangirl, how people fangirl for like members of bands. I don't really do that with Avenged Sevenfold is what I'm trying to say. They're dad. But Green Day, when they were my favorite band, were daddy. They were not dad, they were daddy. Like I said in my video where I talked about the unbearable weight of massive talent, Nicolas Cage is dad. Pedro Pascal is daddy. And so if that makes sense to you, good. Anyways, Green Day was my favorite band back in middle school. I loved them so much. They were daddy. I fucking loved Billy Joel. And then something happened. I don't know. I guess I just kind of phased out and phased into Avenged Sevenfold and just decided that they were going to be my favorite band. Really loved the music. I just stopped listening to Green Day, I guess, because I'd listened to so much of their music. I had listened to a lot of music, but the only band that really like made it out of my middle school like metal emo music phase or whatever was Avenged Sevenfold. Like, they made it to college and adulthood. And so that's why I say they're my favorite band, because I listen to their music today still. I also owned Green Day Rock Band, and I played that game so much. It was like my comfort game. What I'm trying to say is that today was a big day. For younger Roselle and current Roselle, this was a big day. It was also the last day of the festival. So we got there, we Ubered there around 4 again, ate some food. Honestly, the food made me a little sick, I think. I had got this chili dog, way too much cheese. I'm a little lactose-sensitive. I stayed away from the alcohol today. Did not want a repeat of yesterday, but I still wasn't feeling great because of the hot dog. And so kind of did the same thing as yesterday, where we kind of just chilled until 2 bands removed from Green Day. So today it was Turnstile. We kind of got in there as close as we could comfortably midway through Turnstile. And when they ended, people were moving over for Queens of the Stone Age. But when everyone was moving over there, that's when we got as close as possible to the stage that Green Day was going to be playing on. Stood there for the entire Queens of the Stone Age set, but it was better than standing there for the Pantera set. They were alright, but still only one thing was on my mind, and that was Green Day. And once they were on, oh my god, it was so fucking hype. Like, it was, again, last day of the festival. There were so many people there. It's extremely hype. You could feel the energy in the crowd, like. And throughout the show, we actually ended up getting closer and closer because things kept happening and moving. And again, there was an extreme amount of crowd surfers. I would even say there was more crowd surfers than there was yesterday for Avenged Sevenfold. They just never stopped coming for the most part, but they didn't have to stop the show ever. There wasn't really any people that got, like, I think everyone at this point, it was day 4, last day, everyone who was in the front crowd probably was dealing with crowd surfers for all 4 days, and me and Tyler knew what we were doing at this point, so it was still really frustrating because it was Green Day up on the stage. I wanted to keep my face like this, glued to them, but again, I had to keep looking around. If there was a crowd surfer coming, you could hear it because everyone around you would start saying, like, heads up, and that means to put your head up and look around, because there's going to be a crowd surfer probably nearby. And so I ended up meeting a guy in the crowd who reminded me a lot of the people that I was with in California. Because again, Tyler didn't go with me, so I kind of like forced these 2 people to adopt me. They were really kind. And the husband was very tall, like very tall. I don't even know how to, like, what to guess. More than 6 foot is what I'm trying to say. And also kind of sturdy. Is how I would put it. Not fat, but not lanky like Tyler. He's kind of lanky. And so in California, it was really great to have those people around because since that guy was so tall and sturdy, like, I felt safer because I wasn't like getting pushed around or moshed around or whatever. He really helped me to just stay safe, and I really appreciate that. And so I met a guy in the crowd here for a Green Day concert who was basically like a reincarnation of that guy. They kind of looked the same too. But he was very tall and sturdy, and it was great. He even helped me get some clips above the crowd, which that was super cool. Yeah, best way to describe it, I guess, this like type of person is like a gentle giant. And to all the girls out there, or to all the short kings, highly recommend seeking out these gentle giants in a crowd for a concert that you're going to, because they're just great people to be around. But yeah, and he also like seemed to know what he was doing. Like, this wasn't his first rodeo, which is super cool because the other guy in California was also, him and his wife had been to concerts before. So as someone who's not as experienced, like, those people are just the perfect people to have around. I could not be more blessed to just have them placed there, like guardian angels basically. It was great, amazing even. It was such a good experience. I'm so happy. That concert relit the Green Day fire in my heart that I didn't even know was still flickering, because oh my god, when I saw him, he looked so good. It made my heart flutter a little. I haven't actually gone to a concert before where seeing the person on stage made me feel like that, because all the concerts I've gone to have been, again, strictly professional music related. Like, I like Green Day's music. Like, I wouldn't like the band if I didn't like the music, but they're like the only band now that I've gotten to see that I was like, whoo. And I don't know, I think I checked, he's like in his 50s or something right now. Doesn't matter, he's still looking good. But yeah, like, even after that concert ended, for the next like 2 days, I would go onto my phone and look at the clips I got of that concert and just like kick my feet and giggle like a little girl. I was just so happy and excited. It was a literal dream come true. Like, I have it right here, and maybe you can tell from my handwriting. I think I started this in 5th grade. I made a bucket list, which already will never get finished, so I am immortal. I will never die because I can't finish this bucket list. But hopefully this will will show you. On here, this is the first page of my bucket list. There's like other pages. And on the first page, I have go to a Green Day concert. And I'm just so happy that I was able to do that and do that for little Roselle. But see, look at right there, right underneath, how I wrote write a song. Anyways, this isn't the topic of the video. What I'm trying to say is it has been a dream of mine for a long time, and I finally got to. But yeah, that was that day. We walked back. We did skip the convenience store this night, got back, showered, and we started packing for our return trip home. We only had a few hours from basically the end of the concert to when we would need to find a way to the airport. At like 3 or 4 a.m., we got an Uber. There were a few other festival goers that were flying out around that time, so that was cool. But yeah, our flight left at 6. We got back to Portland around 10. We had our roommate pick us up, and that was the end of the trip. I just could not be more satisfied with how it went. Well, okay. That being said, there are some things I wanted to say. Some regrets, I guess. I wish I had gone and seen more bands. I got to see so many bands. Like, for the price, I spent way more money for my ticket for the California show than I did for my 4-day general admission pass for this festival. So price-wise, like, it was really good for all the bands that I could see, but I just didn't see enough of them. Like a week after we got back, I started listening to Sleep Token a lot more, and I want to I've already gone through this. You know, the past is the past. There's no reason to dwell in what could have been, but I didn't realize that they were there until a few days ago, and that crushed me because I have been looking for the next concert basically, or the next festival, kinda, not like really hard because I still need to recoup my wallet from this trip, but I don't know, I like awoken something inside of me. It was my first time ever going, but it was so much fun. It was such a good experience. It's such a good trip. But like post-concert depression or whatever they call it, I didn't know that was a thing until now. Like now I do know, and it had hands. It hit me hard. Anyways, I found myself just watching or listening to this band, Sleep Token, and being like, oh man, I'd really like to see these people live. That would be super cool, but they're like British or whatever, so they were there. They were right there. I just, I thought that this trip would kind of soothe something in my soul, put this to ease, but it did not. It stoked the fires, and now I want to go to all the festivals and all the concerts, and I did go to another concert like 1 week after Avenged Sevenfold was coming to Portland, and I decided that they still had tickets and they weren't super expensive. I didn't need to see them up close. I went October 3rd. Saw them in concert for a third time in the span of 4 months. I saw them 3 times. I was making up for the fact that I never got to see them. That's what happens when a band doesn't play for like 6 years or something. I don't know how long it was, but it was a long time. Now I'm good. I think I'm good with them. I think I don't need to fly across the country to see them again. But I still want to go and see more bands now. Like in middle school, I listened to so many bands, and that was just so cathartic to just experience that, even though I didn't get to experience it back in the day, I guess. Like, if middle school Roselle could have gone to Warped Tour, oh my god. I don't even know if they still do that, but yeah, it was super cool. The Portland concert was, because this was the concert that Kim Dracula was at, and that's why I wanted to see them in Kentucky. But yeah, so got to see them twice. Also because of, that's who they're touring with, I got to see Falling in Reverse 3 times technically, because they were there in California, they were there in Kentucky, and they were there in Portland. So like I said, the whole experience was great for the most part. I was on my period, which was not great, and there was some food/alcohol that made me feel not great, and I also think we might have caught something while we were there. Other than that, yeah, it was really good. Some things I did notice was how fucking messy it was at the end of each day at the festival. There was plenty of recycling and trash throughout the venue. So people are just assholes, I guess. Another thing I noticed was that the food was mid. I think this is the best way to put it. It was not that good, I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot of food options there, so like by all means, just what places we went to I felt weren't that good. But we did get a lot of ice cream. They were probably the best because we went there like almost every day. Yeah, and I already mentioned it. I don't know if I have like a crowd claustrophobia. Because yeah, and all 3 times that I was like in the pit, so the California concert, the Avenged Sevenfold night, and then the Green Day night, we were like in the pit. And each night I felt it was hard to breathe. Again, the Avenged Sevenfold night and the Green Day night, I had a fan, which was super helpful. But yeah, there was just like, it was just hard to breathe, and I had like other kind of uncomfortable feelings, just like general anxiety, I guess. So I don't know if that's normal. I don't know if everybody feels that. But I definitely did. So that wasn't cool, but it wasn't like debilitating or anything. I was still able to enjoy myself, especially once like the music started playing. And again, having Tyler there was really nice, and having that gentle giant again also helps with that. Also, I didn't mention it because it might be TMI, but the Green Day night, I don't know if it was something I ate, but I almost shit my pants, and I was worried that, yeah, never mind. I'm not gonna put that in. I'm sure I could have found this out if I had Googled it, what to bring to a festival, but all I used ever was the website, the Louder Than Life website, of like what I can bring and what I can't bring, for how I was gonna pack my stuff and what I was gonna bring. Because again, never been to a music festival before, did not know what to expect. They did not allow re-entry. I knew that beforehand, but if you are going to a music festival that does not allow re-entry, then these are like, in my opinion, some must-haves. So do bring a clear backpack. They say they don't recommend it, but I don't know how long Louder Than Life has been going, but they got their shit down. Like, I highly recommend this festival if you like this kind of music. They had everything went really smoothly. They had water, they had lots of bathrooms, well, lots of porta potties. The main entrance, they had tons of people like for entry, so you were never actually waiting that long to get into the festival. So if you have a backpack, a clear backpack, bring it so you can pack all your stuff. You don't want to be carrying around a ton of stuff in your hands. Bring a small blanket. That was goated. Like, there's plenty of shade to find, and you could just take out your blanket, set it down, and chill if you're gonna be there all day and you can't leave. Bring a hand fan, or if they allow it, like one of those like electric fans would probably be cool, but a hand fan works just fine, just to move the air. It was really nice. Bring earplugs. Something I really wanted to have before I even went on the trip was earplugs, like the kind that they sell for concerts. But I wasn't able to get a pair, and it was definitely very loud. Definitely caused some hearing damage for me and Tyler, but hey, YOLO, am I right? But bring some earplugs if you can. Something that I packed, I didn't have to buy this, was a sun hat, because they did not allow umbrellas, like sun umbrellas or anything. I was wearing a big white sun hat, and that was really nice to keep the shade or the sun out of my eyes, off my face. Allergy pills or pain medication definitely is a must. There was a lot of dust and dirt, so my allergies were getting pretty bad towards the end of the trip, but there's a lot of people, so bringing your own sanitizing wipes is a good idea. I didn't even think about this until I had seen the guy that I was talking about in the Green Day concert crowd. He pulled some out because of like an incident that had happened with some blood, but I was like, that's a really good idea. And then reusable clear water bottle is never a bad idea. I knew about that, but I just didn't have one. So, but if you do, you should bring it. Even if you could just bring a empty plastic water bottle with a lid, that's a good idea, because when you buy, at least for Louder Than Life, when you buy water there at like the water stands, they take the lids because they don't want you to trash them on the ground, which I totally understand, because yeah, people were trashing fucking the bottles and cups everywhere, so the lids would be harder to pick up, but it was kind of hard to keep water around when you didn't have a lid. So highly recommend just bringing your own empty plastic water bottle with a lid. Sunscreen, I feel like is obvious. I did pack sunscreen, but I just was bad and didn't use it. But I would bring sunscreen. And last, dress for comfort. I saw a lot of really cool, awesome outfits, and I would have loved to have dressed up really cool, but I feel like it's more important to just dress with what you're comfortable for, and you know that you're gonna be comfortable the whole day or however long you're gonna be there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Long story short, I had a great time. Couldn't have asked for a better first music festival experience. I don't know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is it was good, had a great time, and I'm glad that I am able to share this experience with you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed my clips, as amateur as they were. Again, I am not a professional concert goer or music festival goer or even a professional filmer, photographer, so this was the best I could do. Thankfully, I had Tyler with me, who is 6 foot, and he was able to get some clips for me. And thanks to that guy in the Green Day concert crowd for some of the clips. Super sweet. I didn't mention it earlier, but he does have a Instagram where he reviews various goods, so if you're interested in that kind of stuff, give him a follow. That'll be down in the description. I'm looking forward to the next time I get to go to a festival like this, which I don't know, might be pretty soon, but probably not, because I really don't know how I could afford it. But catch me at Sick New World in Las Vegas, I guess, because they have Black Veil Brides and they will also have Sleep Token, so I can rectify that mistake, and Bad Omens. Yeah, don't know how I'm going to afford the tickets to that or the travel and the hotel. So wishful thinking, you could call it. But oh, also totally random, but I guess not, because it is a part of this. Our hotel had this dapper business horse out in the front, and that was one of the best things of the entire trip. Anyways, thanks again for watching the video. Hope you learned something. Hope you had a good time watching. Hope you enjoyed my clips. If you want to know what it's like seeing your favorite band 3 times in 1 year, it's good. It's great. I'm sure lots of people could relate. I'm sure you have a favorite band. In fact, there we go. That's our topic. Put your favorite band down in the comment section below, or if there's a music festival that you've gone to that you really liked and could not recommend more, or if there's a music festival concert thing that you wish you could go to, I'm curious. Put it down below. Thanks a million. I'm rambling now. I don't know. Okay, goodbye.